This man discovered a strange incident on the airplane. There seemed to be a shark in the clouds outside his window. At first, he thought he was hallucinating, so he went to the bathroom to splash some water on his face. But when he returned to his seat and looked out the window again, Jack realized this wasn't a hallucination and quickly called over a flight attendant, telling her there were sharks in the sky. However, the flight attendant thought this was impossible and asked him to stay quiet. Seeing his agitation, an air marshal even issued Jack a stern warning. Feeling frustrated and helpless, Jack could only sit down quietly. Just then, a shark flew into one of the plane's engines. The violent turbulence caused the aircraft to instantly lose control and begin violently swaying from side to side. Other sharks swarmed in, continuously colliding with the plane. Suddenly, a shark crashed into the plane, tearing a large hole in the fuselage, and a passenger who wasn't wearing a seatbelt was immediately sucked out by the air pressure. At this point, the flight attendant finally believed Jack's claims and tried to calm the passengers. But the very next second, she was struck by a rapidly approaching shark. The co-pilot couldn't escape either and was being torn apart by a shark. As the captain moved forward to help, the powerful air current instantly threw both men out of the cockpit. At this moment, the plane was completely out of control, plummeting toward the ground. Recognizing the danger, Jack determinedly crawled toward the cockpit. He grabbed the radio to call ground control for an emergency landing, then used all his strength to control the plane's stick. Drawing on years of flight simulator gaming experience, Jack finally managed to stabilize the aircraft and successfully execute an emergency landing. The passengers escaped death thanks to Jack's bravery, but this crisis was far from over, because at that moment, the sharks were menacingly advancing from above the ocean toward the city. Jack hurriedly called his sister, who was enjoying a day at the beach, warning her to take cover, but unfortunately, she didn't have her phone with her. It was precisely then that his sister noticed something wasn't right. She saw dark clouds filling the sky and countless sharks swimming toward the shore from the sea. Looking at this eerie scene, several people froze in fear and planned to escape on a ferry. Yet to their surprise, the sharks began launching active attacks. At this time, news reports were saying this was a massive sharknado caused by a Category 12 typhoon that had swept up and was hurling large numbers of sharks. This suddenly broadcast terrifying news plunged the entire city into extreme panic.